My name is Melissa Matticholo,
And my name is Sandra Patrick.
and then we are presenting on our Zoom and Skype telehealth sessions. So for our client needs, so our client's name was Frank and his wife, Janet. She was in on our calls as well. They wanted to be able to use Skype and Zoom to communicate with friends and family. Due to the pandemic, they have not been able to visit their loved ones, and Frank does not prefer to text or email. He really would like to call or actually do like a video chat with them. So he told us that pressing buttons on his phone were difficult with him due to his mild tremor that he would experience, mostly in his left hand, and he is left hand dominant. So he would find a bit of issues there. So he really just wanted to do like a more personal communication with his friends and family. So that's what we helped him with. So for how we helped, so we created this little like handbook for him. We did step-by-step instructions on how to do Zoom and Skype on his phone and his computer. We attached like some photos too, so that way for like visual learning, he could actually see what he should be seeing on his screen and match up those steps. We laminated this book for him, so it's something he can keep going forward, and he can even help other people, like his friends too, if he wanted to teach them anything. And then we made sure this document was delivered to him before we started our session, so that way he had it in front of him while we conducted these meetings. And then we attached a few pictures of what you would see in that handbook.
And then for our first session, we introduced ourselves and explained what our project was about. We learned more about Frank and what his priorities and needs were. And during that time, he mentioned he wanted to learn how to use Skype and Zoom on his phone and computer. And then for our second session, Frank chose to learn Skype first because he was more familiar with it. And he said he and his wife went over the instructions that we sent him prior to our session. So they were more comfortable with using Skype, but still had a few questions for us. And one of the questions they had was about the contact list. They weren't sure how to edit and remove old contacts. So we were able to walk them through that over the phone. And his wife also had a question outside of Skype and Zoom that we tried to help her with. And then for our third session, we helped Frank and his wife learn how to use and access Zoom. We hosted a Zoom meeting and emailed them an invitation. And we walked them through how to find and open that link over the phone. They were able to join our meeting with no issues. And over Zoom, they had questions about the buttons and the settings that we were able to help out with. And then if we were to do this training again, some changes we could do would be, asking Frank what type of phone and computer he uses during the first session, because we forgot to ask him. So when we made our handouts, we made instructions for both iPhone and Android. So it was just a little bit more work for us. And then another thing is that we should have invited or asked if Janet, Frank's wife, if she wanted to be part of these sessions during our first meeting. We had to reschedule our second meeting twice because she was not feeling well and wanted to be present, because she was also very interested and had her own questions. And then lastly, due to COVID, we weren't able to meet in person, but we think it would have been a different experience if we could do in-person trainings, because teaching over the phone is more difficult because we can't quite see what Frank and Janet sees. But overall, it was a great experience. Frank and Janet were an absolute joy to work with, and they said that these training sessions were very beneficial for them and that they look forward to video chatting each other and with friends and family. And that was our training session.